Okay, we're back. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rekka. If you haven't been here before, welcome. So today's video is a classic, if you will. I know some of you are subscribed just for this time of year, and it is officially time to talk about Hulu's Only Murders in the Building. I'm so excited. Season 3 comes out in a few days, and I just wanted to go over the trailer with you. I haven't watched it yet, so this is going to be my blind reaction and just like getting ready for season 3. So I'm very happy to be here. But before we move any farther, if you haven't seen season 1 and season 2, then don't watch this video, pause. I have videos for season 1 and videos for season 2 on my channel. If you want to go check them out, I'll link them up above and down below. But yeah, like watch along unless you know you're okay with lots of spoilers. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this season. Subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing with your friends, sharing on social media, that all is such a big help and I really appreciate it. So help me hit that 1,000 mark and we can talk about it. Maybe I'll do a giveaway or something. Just like reminiscing a little bit, I loved season 1. I loved the details in it and everything that happened, and I felt like there were some open ends, and season 2 was great. I don't think I liked it as much as season 1, but I'm really hopeful for season 3, and I hope that they just, you know, bring us full circle. So officially this is not going to be a murder in the building. Technically it's going to be a murder outside of the building, but I am going to react to the trailer. So let's get into that.
It's opening night, and a big star drops dead on stage.
Oh my god, my leading man is dead! Is this really happening?
Well, you know, who are we without a homicide?
NYPD! The killer is someone in this room! My show is hanging on by a thread here.
Finding this killer is the only way you'll have a show. Want to make a podcast with me?
Oh my god, this is corny.
I know it is. Murder?
Yeah, murder. Look at this cast. They're all killers.
But who would want to kill Ben?
Maybe it was Loretta.
Please don't give up on me. I'm not good at table reads. Storms coming. Don't take us that for opening in the rocks.
She's a stinkeroonie. I say give her the bootay. Maybe it was Kimber, the tick.
Okay, just a quick pause. We're like midway through. First, this is like a thing that the show does where each season they start with who was murdered and then we almost work backwards. Assuming that this show is going to continue on in some form, season 4 will probably have a similar format unless they really decide to switch it up. So yeah, first season it was Tim Kono, second season it was Bunny, and now it's Ben Glenroy. I think that's his name. So yeah, not surprising that we saw the murder at the end of last season after we solved Bunny's murder. And so we're gonna start with the murder of Ben this season and then kind of work our way from there. I will say when they do these, like, was it Loretta? Like, was it blah blah blah? I always immediately kind of rule those people out because they're not going to tell us who the murderer was so like quickly. I mean, like the past seasons they haven't done that. If they really wanted to throw us off, I guess they could do that. I don't think that anyone who's mentioned in the trailer is going to be the murderer.
Talk addicted starlet. Does she do it as part of an internet meme?
Why are you saying it like that? I think I got a lead. Robert?
You're investigating with this guy? So, Oliver and Charles, what do you talk about?
Murder mostly. And how to connect Bluetooth. We'll talk about that a lot.
We're onto something here that I need you to...
Okay, another romance connection for Mabel. Was his name Tabed or Tabed? That's what it looks like. Every season Mabel seems to have a murder or a murder connection. Every season Mabel seems to have some sort of love connection and they are always regarded as pretty suspicious. I would like a kind of a finisher on like what happened with Alice, because I don't know, sometimes I do feel like the show jumps around a little bit and doesn't fully explain, you know, seasons past and like why certain decisions were made or like what happened, but we'll see.
Draw attention to yourself. That's no biggie. That's a smallie. It's a very small thing because it's a. Your show is a death trap. Today alone, I almost died 3 times. Hey, hello? Oh, God, I was trapped. Years went by. Do I have a beard? Is SNL still on?
You were gone for 20 minutes.
Theater.
Okay, it's looking like Charles is maybe a target in this season because he said he's like almost died 3 times on the set. That could also just be the fact that Charles is kind of a mess, so I wouldn't really be surprised if he was just getting himself into situations. So is he really being targeted, or is he just like this silly old man? We will find out.
It's all about choices. What you share and what you hide.
That's a clue.
Those choices change everything.
We gotta get her talking. I can just girl talk.
Can you?
Yeah, you guys okay out here? Hey, mama. Yeah, we're like, yes, and work and slay over here, like, yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
At least you had the consideration to keep the body out of the building this time.
You always know just what to say.
Okay, so trailer looks good. They say like craziest season yet. I'll be the judge of that. There were some like little tidbits, like I'm gonna watch through again and pause at any like clues and then we can kind of talk about them. Okay, so first we can pause on the picture of the cast. We've got Ben dead, Bobo, Ty, Kimber, Jonathan, you've got Charles, Oliver, that might be Kai or KT, Cliff, Donna, Howard, Dickie, Tobert, and then you've got people at the bottom who are labeled as crew but don't seem to have any like name associated with them. So just off the bat, like there's only 3 people who were in the cast last season who are on the board as like suspects. You know, 90% of the time we can pretty much assume that Charles and Oliver are innocent as well as Mabel. So that really only leaves Howard, and it's unlikely that they would just make Howard the killer. Like I feel like that would be kind of obvious, but I'm also thinking that it's kind of weird that more of the people who live in the building are not in the cast. So I don't know. I wonder if there's going to be a twist where it's not someone in the cast, because I feel like we know the stories of a lot of the people in the building, and when the murder is in the building, I don't know, like it was Jan or it was someone that they were heavily involved with, like Poppy. So I don't know if it's going to be a little bit more of a cop-out because we don't know this cast as well, versus like we knew, you know, Cinda and Poppy on some level. So yeah, it's kind of a question mark. We're gonna see how they introduce this cast to us. Obviously not all of these people are going to be big suspects because they can't have, I don't know, what is it? That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. They can't have 18 suspects. 16 if you subtract Charles and Oliver. So I don't know, I'm just interested to see how it goes, because for me, the building part of the show, like murder in the building, is important to the storyline, and I just think that they need to keep that part alive and well and like have the usual cast of characters that they have represented. So we'll see. So right off the bat, I am going to say that, like I said, I don't think it's going to be Meryl's character, I don't think it's going to be Kimber, and I don't think it's going to be this guy who Mabel's on a date with, just because too obvious. We do have a part where Charles is going into Ben's dressing room. We obviously don't know if this is before he died, after he died, why it was locked. Then we also have this line from Meryl's character saying theater is all about choices, what you share and what you hide. So that's kind of interesting. Like, we've had a lot of episodes in the past where someone isn't what they say they are, like Charles talking to Mabel and then that line ending up being from his TV show and her finding out about it, or Alice ending up kind of being an imposter. So it's not unusual for them to have people who like aren't who they say they are. The other thing is they have this scene with the notebook. It says red carpet roundup and it's a picture of Ben. I can't tell who's next to him, but it's, you know, a red carpet photo of him and it looks like it's coming from a bookshelf. So maybe whoever's notebook this is was like a big fan of Ben's and was kind of like a crazy fan. Like maybe they've reached out to him because they were such a fan and he, you know, chastised their advances and so they killed him. But it is suspicious that there's like this weird old notebook with paper cuttings in it. And then behind that we actually can see that there's more paper and it says Glenroy ? So this is clearly a notebook that's full of like newspaper clippings and magazine clippings of like things Ben has done or been in or been talked about in. So that's definitely suspicious. Maybe it is a crazy fan. I think my main thought is really how they're going to keep this interesting with it not being in the building, because I feel like the building itself for the other 2 seasons was like a character. Like, if you know what I mean, the building had secret passageways, the building had secrets that we were discovering, and that was part of the fun of the murder being in the building. Also the fact that it could happen twice, like not just once with Tim Kono but again with Bunny was kind of enticing. So I don't know how it's going to function outside of the building. A lot of the shots in the trailer seem like they weren't taken from the building. Like they seem like they were from the theater, from rehearsal, you know, in hotels and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see how that is. I'm curious to see how much of the cast in Oliver's show live in the building. Obviously we know Howard, but it's possible that other people who are working the show also live in the building in the Arconia. But if it doesn't take place a lot in the building, I think I will actually miss those aspects, like being in Charles's apartment and like seeing Mabel's apartment and the characters like who live in the building and who interact with each other and how they interact. Last season I did talk about this, but the way that Ben died at the end of season 2 is very suspicious. He had blood on his lips, so there was a theory that possibly it was some sort of poisoning because of the fact that that can be caused by like respiratory issues. But also I think I mentioned in last season's video that that's also something that they do in Hollywood to represent that someone is dying. So it's possible that they might do that just to show that he's like dying or dead or whatever. I don't know, he comes out very wobbly, very like disoriented, kind of out of breath, has the blood on the lips and then drops to the ground. So yeah, there is some suspicion there. Like the impossibleness of it is the fact that he comes out from behind, comes onto the stage and then dies. So this person says that some forms of poisoning can do this, or internal injury like being stabbed in the abdomen or chest. What's interesting about some of these answers, and these are not like medical answers, I like Googled it and went to like Quora or whatever and just like looked at what people had answered, but a lot of these are saying that it could be like natural causes. So it'll be interesting to see when the show starts where they get murder from. I feel like my best guess though right now is that he was either poisoned and it took a little bit to activate, and that's how he was able to walk out onto stage. He looked weak and then he dropped dead. Or it's maybe possible that somebody stabbed him, but it seems unlikely that someone would stab him, send him out onto stage, and that he would immediately start reciting his lines rather than yelling like, I was stabbed, like, ah. So my best guess right now is that he was poisoned. We've got a lot of poison talk throughout the 2 seasons, you know, mainly with Jan and like her being a poisoner, so it wouldn't be surprising if they kind of like brought that back around. Maybe it ends up being someone who was close to Jan, who she was teaching her poisoning trade, or maybe it's just a coincidence and it's supposed to make us suspicious. But either way, it seems like poisoning is the most likely option. Let me know your theories and what you think in the comments down below. I'd love to know who your best guess is for who the murderer is this season, what your theories are just based on the trailers that you've watched so far, and if there's any content that you're interested in seeing from me that is not just like the sit down videos that I normally do, but things that are related to the show. If you want me to, I don't know, they have like a lot of other little things happening around the show, so if you have any ideas for what you want me to concentrate on, definitely let me know in the comments down below. I will see you guys next week with another video talking all about the first couple of episodes, I think it's 2, of season 3, reviewing them, going through them, looking at the clues, and yeah, I'm just pumped to be here. I do work a full-time job, so I'm going to try and film and edit them as quickly as possible to get them out to you, because I know that you guys want to see them before the next episode drops, so I'm going to try my absolute best. And if you don't mind clicking the subscribe button down below, hitting that like button, commenting, sharing with friends, it means so much to me, and I am trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of this season. Maybe if I do, I'll do something fun like a giveaway or something. Let me know what you'd be interested in, and I will see you guys next time with another video. Bye!